Hey, what is up, y'all? Happy new day, happy new unit. Today is our first lesson of Module C, Ecology and Ecosystems and the Environment and all that fun jazz. We're going to be doing our first unit. Our first unit is titled, let me just double check, Matter and Energy in Living Systems. So today, in Lesson 1, you're going to learn how to, you're going to be able to explain how to, going to be able to explain how matter and energy move through different organisms. Okay, that's during the instructional time. That's what you're learning today. And work time today, you're going to complete the reading, producers, consumers, and decomposers, and follow and answer the questions that follow, and just answer any of the questions on Edpuzzle that you didn't get to, which technically you can't because they're in there. You don't have to answer them on HMH. So yeah, happy day. So yeah. Lesson 1 crash course. I'm gonna shrink me a bit, maybe. There we go. Shrink me a bit, put myself up there. So today's lesson objective, it will have a turn. You will understand how matter and energy move through different organisms as parts of the cycle of life. All right. Now, if you want to, you can follow along at HMH, but like I said, all the questions will be answered on Edpuzzle. I will still have the link on Google Classroom for you to use if you like. Just a reminder, your HMH login is your school ID, that 5-digit ID number, followed by at rcs.k12.il.us. And your password is capital R, Rantool1. So yep, lesson 1, let's get it to it. I also want to give you a reminder, since we are finishing Module D technically. Crazy Kiki Jinx. That technically you will have 2 modules still on here, that you're probably going to need to switch between the 2, B and C. B will be finished once you finish your summer project. But yeah, we're starting C now, so this should technically be something else, not that. Let's see if we'll switch. That's not even loading. That sucks. Oh well. Let's look at the assignments. You have your workbook for Unit 1 right here. You're going to click on it if you want to follow along. You don't have to. Let me move myself up a bit. Let's open it. Jinx is super cuckoo crazy. Get out of the trash can. Anyways, lesson 1. There's a little kingfisher. Gets matter and energy from eating fish and other animals. Look at that spit. So these fruit were once part of a living plant. After they were picked, they began to decompose or break down. Eventually, a person looking at the space where these fruit lay see no trace of them. The video of these decomposing or rotting fruit have been sped up so we can see them matter of seconds. This process takes anywhere between 5 days and 1 month to occur.
These fruits that have fallen to the ground are decaying or decomposing. The same process happens to fruits and vegetables that are left in your refrigerator for too long.
The next lesson we'll be doing a decomp lab together. Miss Smith and I are competing to see who can decomp more food. Jinx is just being cuckoo crazy today. You need to stop it. But yeah, perks of being a parent. Not really. Crazy cat. So other than decomposition, so like things breaking down, like the food and stuff that we just kind of saw, rot and stuff, can you think of any other example in which matter changes over time? Just answer that part. It's going to be on Edpuzzle right here. And now we're going to move on. Don't need any of that. So yeah. So lesson 1. All right. So over 250 million years ago, many species of plants and animals, including pine trees, dinosaurs, giant sea reptiles, and tiny mammals, lived on Earth. A mass extinction event 66 million years ago resulted in the loss of many species, including all dinosaurs and plesiosaurs. Those are like the water dinosaurs, basically. What happened to their bodies? Did they just disappear? Well, no. We know that fossils. They decomposed basically from it and became fossils. Do you think that the materials that are made up of the bodies are still on Earth today? Well, do you think fossils are still here? Yes or no? Okay. Jinx, I swear if you jump at this camera, you are getting yeeted. Kidding, but no. So, matter in organisms. The bodies of all living things are made up of matter. Matter is anything, living or non living, that has mass and takes up space. So, looking at this, matter, anything that has mass and takes up space. Cool. That would be something else. A tree's leaves, trunks, and roots are made up of matter. All the parts of your body are also made up of matter. Even the tiniest organisms, such as a single cell bacteria, are made of matter, which that was what we learned last module big unit thing. Living things need matter to live because it provides them with the materials needed to grow and carry out life processes. For example, plants need water and air, both of which are matter, to make food. The food you eat and the air you breathe are made of matter. Without matter, many living things would not be able to survive. So atoms, we know that we're all made up of atoms. Most of the matter in an organism contain cells, the smallest unit of living. Cells are made up of smaller units called atoms. I'm going to have you skip this part. All right, let's skip a couple things. So yeah, we just know that everything's made up of matter. Matter is mass, and anything that takes up space. We also know that, or as organisms, we use energy, our own different type of energy. So organisms need a constant source of energy to live, grow, and reproduce. Energy is the ability to cause change. Let's look at this definition of energy. Probably something different. No, it's not. Energy comes in many forms, including light energy from the sun and energy stored in bonds of food molecules. When an organism eats food, the energy in the bonds of the food molecules becomes available to the organism for use in life processes. Some energy is stored for later use or converted to heat. Different organisms get food in different ways. For example, plants depend on the sun's energy to make food molecules. Animals cannot make their own food, so they get energy by eating plants or other animals. We know this. Explore the photo of how energy flows through an organism. So here's the energy from the sun. Earth receives only a small fraction of the sun's energy of the sunlight that does reach Earth. Some is reflected back into space. Some energy is exerted in Earth's atmosphere or surface. Energy in plants. Plants use energy from the sun to make molecules. Plants use most of the energy stored in food molecules for life processes. Some of the food molecules are stored in plant bodies. And then energy in animals. Animals must eat plants or other animals to get energy. We know this. When an animal eats, most of the energy from food molecules is used for life processes. Some of the food molecules are stored in the animal's bodies. So like how we need to eat to get energy. Same thing as animals. All right. We're going to move on to exploration 2 now. And let me just double check what we need to do. Oh, I think we're almost uneven. Okay. A young rabbit is nibbling on lettuce that is growing in your garden. The lettuce is the rabbit's food. It provides the matter and energy that the rabbit needs to grow. Move through your garden, chew your lettuce, and perform other tasks that keeps the rabbit alive and healthy. Like the rabbit, all living organisms need a source of matter and energy. This apple's the only source of matter and energy for the girl. Okay, recall the foods you've eaten in the past few days and think about each food, if it came from a plant, animal, or a combination of ingredients. So on Edpuzzle, I want you to think, have you eaten any vegetables lately or fruit? Or have you eaten any animal products, so beef, or a combination? Think of it and record on Edpuzzle just a list of different things that you've eaten, if it's classified as plant, animal, or both. All right, Edpuzzle. Moving on. Also, just a heads up, taco, I would say a combination of both. My opinion. These organisms get matter and energy in different ways. These rhinos spend most of their time roaming through their environments looking for plants to eat. When a tree falls in the forest, these fungi soon begin to live on its tree trunk. Fun fact, mushrooms are fungi. And I cannot pronounce that. Lianas are vines that climb tall trees so that their leaves can reach the sunlight at the top of the canopy. Okay. How do you think each organism gets the matter and energy to survive? Okay. So, do we think rhinos get their matter and energy from decaying organisms, from the environment, or plants? What about fungi? Actually, we'll do this on a puzzle. Rhino, which one do you think it is? Head puzzle. What about fungi? Head puzzle. And then liana. Head puzzle. All right. So I'm going to use my educated guess. I'm assuming from the environment is for the rhino. I'm assuming fungi is for that. Oh, that's what I had to do? Okay. And liana's from plants. Let's check. Oh, I guess I am wrong. So liana is from the environment. Oh, rhino eats the plants. That's what. Oh my gosh. I get where I messed up. I assumed from the plants would be part of the environment. I also was messing up, and I thought that rhinos were meat eaters, and I totally forgot that rhinos are predominantly herbivores, which are vegetarians, basically. So rhinos are mammals that only eat plants, such as grasses and bushes. That was the main part I messed up. Fungi are organisms that feed off the remains of dead plants and animals. Lianas are plants, so they use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to make their own food. Like I said, I kind of forgot that those parts are also part of the environment. Teachers make mistakes, just remember that. So producers. A producer is an organism that uses energy and matter from the environment to make their own food molecules. In order to live, producers must obtain energy and matter such as carbon dioxide, water, and nutrients from their environment. Many producers, such as plant, algae, and some bacteria, use energy from sunlight to make food molecules from carbon dioxide and water. They use sugar molecules as food. When producers break down energy, they've made and formed new molecules. Energy is released. This food is used for life processes. Producers provide energy and matter for other living organisms that consume them. I guess I should look at that. Producer, an organism that makes their own food using energy from its surroundings. Cool. Consumer, a consumer is an organism that gets energy and matter by eating other organisms. Humans and all other animals are consumers. We know this. Some consumers, such as rabbits, eat only plants. These consumers may eat any plant matter they can find. For example, elephants will eat grass, bark, leaves, and fruit. Other consumers will specialize and only eat one plant. Koalas eat only the leaves of the eucalyptus trees, and pandas feed mostly on bamboo. Not all consumers eat plants. Some eat other living things. So consumer, an organism that eats other organisms or organic matter. Cola. And anteater. I wonder what anteaters eat. Ed puzzle, what do anteaters eat? Okay, cool. Decomposer. A decomposer is an organism that gets energy and matter by breaking down the remains of other organisms that have died. Decomposers also break down the waste expelled by other organisms. Like consumers, decomposers use bodies of other organisms as sources of matter because they cannot make their own food. Fungi, such as mushrooms, often grow on dead tree trunks or in soil that is rich in decaying matter. Some bacteria, earthworms, or slugs are also decomposers. Without decomposers, the matter that makes up organisms would not be recycled back into the non-living environment. Let me catch my breath. When decomposers break down waste and other remains, nutrients enter the soil and become available for use by other organisms. Decomposers also recycle matter into the air, such as carbon dioxide. Often, several different species of decomposers are involved in breaking down dead organisms. I was going to say it's a mushroom, but it's not. And then moving forward, I think we could just move to exploration 3 now. Honestly, we might be done. Let me double check one thing. Oh, yep, we're doing that tomorrow, next lesson. And I guess exploration 3. And I think the main thing. Oh, relating cycle of matter to transfer energy. Trees and other producers use the sun's energy to make food. Trees and other producers use the sun's energy and matter from the environment to make food molecules. Energy flows through a tree as sunlight is transferred first to food molecules. Food molecules store energy the tree can use later. The stored energy is released through chemical reaction that form new molecules, providing the tree with energy and growth for life processes. Some energy is also released from the tree as heat. Okay, and I think this is really the last thing. Luckily, the sun is nearly a limitless source of energy for plants. Matter, however, is limited. Matter continually moves or cycles between the living and non-living parts of the environment. Energy changes forms as it flows through a system, but it is not created or destroyed. For example, energy enters the tree as light. It is transformed into chemical energy and then exits the tree through a form of heat. These energy transfers are necessary for chemical reactions that rearrange matter taken in by the tree into new molecules needed for growth and life processes. The matter in the tree will eventually return to the environment when the tree decomposes and completes life. So if matter cannot be created, how does an organism grow and gain mass? Little Ed puzzle question. How do you think an organism can grow and gain mass if matter is not created? A puzzle question. This is a hypothesis, not hypothesis, educated guess. Okay. Okay. So this one, they want us to number the illustration to show the sequence. So I'm assuming 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So if I think the life process, what do I think first? Do I think it's going to be a full-on tree? No. I think it's going to be a seedling, or better known as a sapling. So I'm assuming this is 1. The sun shines on the sapling that grows from a seed. Then does it grow fully into a tree? So no, I don't think it's the first 1 or 2, because this one it's died. So I'm assuming this one's last. Educated guess. So I'd say that's 4. So I'm assuming this one is 2 because, it's growing. Here we see a full-grown tree and it's lived for many years. Let's check. I got them right. Cool. And is there anything else? Nope. Okay, so I'm not going to have you do the take it further or reading because I'll have you do something else for me. So I'm going to close HMH because we're done with HMH for today. So moving forward, let's see what we have to do. So you're going to have a reading today called Producers, Consumers, and Decomposers. You're going to be reading it. You're going to answer questions on Cami. So here I go. Obviously, it's not posted yet because you still have to go in and do it. It's scheduled to open and stuff, but whatever. So you're going to open with Cami. You're going to read the article on here about producers, consumers, and decomposers. There's lots of pictures. Honestly, I think it's just 4 pages of the reading, but it's very short. Majority of it's pictures. Then you're going to answer the 5 questions. What 3 categories can every living thing in a forest ecosystem be sorted into? What is a producer? How do consumers sometimes interact with producers? Support your answer with evidence from the text. Think of that like a CER. 4, describe what a decomposer like a worm does with dead organic matter. Support your description with details from the text, basically a CER. And 5, this one's mainly comprehension. What is the main idea of the text? Okay. Just a reminder of how you answer them. You go here to the text box. I'm going to click there. I'm going to bring it out. You're going to type your answers, okay? I would probably make it a little bit bigger than 10. Actually, let me do it like that. 14, cool. 2-point space. answer it, make sure it's in the lines, make sure it's not, etc., and make sure it says saved. Because you're not able to turn it in via Cami onto Google Classroom, what you're gonna do once it's done, once it's hit saved, okay? Once it says saved right here, you're gonna go back to Google Classroom. It may not look complete on this, but when I'm able to see it on my side, you're gonna hit turn in once you are done, okay? Other than that, that's all we're doing today, okay? If you have any questions, please reach out. Today's fairly easy, kind of a long-ish video, but we're introducing a new topic. But yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.